Hello everyone, myself Rudra Prasad Adhikari, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmaceutical Science, USTM. Today I am going to give a lecture on High Performance Liquid Chromatography, HPLC. Moving to next slide, that is HPLC Introduction. HPLC is also known as High Performance Liquid Chromatography or also known as High Pressure Liquid Chromatography or also known as High Price Liquid Chromatography. Now coming to definition, actually what is the HPLC techniques? HPLC is nothing but a chromatographic technique used to separate components of a mixture for the purpose to identify, quantify or purify the individual component of the mixture. This is widely used in the field of biochemistry and analytical chemistry. Means in order to quantify, identify and purify any constituents, individual constituents from a mixture of components, we are going to use this such techniques. There are basically next types of HPLC techniques based on the mode of chromatography, based on the principle of separation, based on the elution technique, based on the scale of operation and based on the type of analysis. Here, based on the mode of chromatography, there are mainly two types of chromatography, normal phase chromatography and reverse phase chromatography. That is, normal phase is also called HPLC, simple HPLC. Here the stationary phase is polar in nature and the mobile phase is non-polar. This is not advantageous in pharmaceutical application since most of the drug molecules are polar in nature and takes longer time to be eluted and detected. Reverse phase chromatography or known as RP-HPLC techniques. Here in this type of chromatography, stationary phase is non-polar, that is C18 column, and the mobile phase is polar, example acetonitrile, water, buffer in nature. Since most of the drugs and pharmaceuticals are polar in nature, they are not retained for a longer time and eluted faster. Next, based on the principle of separation, that is number one, adsorption chromatography. Separation of components takes place because of the difference in affinity of compound towards stationary phase. Next is ion exchange chromatography. An ion is used to separate a mixture of similar charged ion. Next is your size exclusion or gel permeation chromatography. A mixture of components with different molecular size are separated by using gel which act as a sieve. Here size exclusion or in gel permeation, drugs with higher molecular size, example proteins, are higher molecular weight compound. So such types of compound can be easily be separated by using this type of techniques. Moving to next slide, that is based on elution techniques. Number one, isocratic elution. Number two is gradient elution. In this technique, the same mobile phase combination is used throughout the process of separation. Means here throughout the process of separation, we are not going to change the ratio of mobile phase. Means if we are going to incorporate 50:50 ratio of organic and the aqueous phase, here the same mobile phase ratio is used throughout the process. Means the same polarity or the elution strength is maintained throughout the process. Next, gradient separation. Means in this technique, a mobile phase combination of lower polarity or elution strength is used, followed by gradually increasing the polarity or elution strength. Means here in this such types of separation, here the ratio of mobile phase or either the polarity from lower polar to the higher polar molecules solvent is used throughout the process. Means for if the drug can be retained within 15 minutes, first 2 minutes we are using the low polar solvent, next 4 minutes we are using the little mid-polar solvent, and the next 10 minutes around we are using the highly polar solvent. Next, based on the scale of operation, means based on the how we are doing the work, means analytical HPLC and preparative HPLC. In analytical HPLC, only analysis of sample are done, means recovery of sample is not done. Here in this it is an destructive types process. Once we are not going to recover such types of sample from this analytical techniques. Next is preparative HPLC, where the individual fractions of pure compound can be collected using fraction collectors. The collector samples are reused, means whatever the sample or the individual component that is separated out using this preparative HPLC, we are going to collect that sample for the reuse. Moving to next slide, based on the type of analysis. Number one, qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis means way to identify, which is used to identify the compound, detect the impurities, to find the number of components, etc. Means if we have to find amino acid in any of the compound, suppose if we have taken any sample, so we have to identify whether amino acid is present in that compound or not. So we are considering such analysis as a qualitative analysis. Next is quantitative analysis, where we are going to determine the quantity, how much amount of that amino acid is present in that compound, that we are going to determine using such types of analysis. Moving to next slide, that is instrumentation, the main part of HPLC. Here in the diagram it has been shown that HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, here in instrumentation part mostly it consists of pump, mixing unit, solvent degaussing, injector, column, detector and applications. This one is the instrumentation workflow chart, where first is the HPLC solvent, that is nothing but solvent reservoir. This solvent can be taken up by the HPLC pump. With the help of pump, the solvent can be injected towards the injector and the sample can be injected through this injector port, and after the injection, with the help of this mobile phase solvent, this compound can be entered into the column, where column is considered as the heart of HPLC system, where mostly the separation takes place. Whatever the compound that eluted out from the column can be detected by using the detector, and the remaining waste product can be collected in the separate form, and the chromatogram obtained during the separation can be done by using data acquisition. Moving to next slide, that is pump. The role of pump is to force a liquid called the mobile phase through the liquid chromatography at a specific flow rate expressed in milliliter per minute, ml per minute. Means if we want 1 ml per minute of solvent, with the help of pump we have to set 1 ml per minute, means exact flow rate we are going to get by using this pump. Normal flow rate in HPLC is in 1 to 2 ml per minute range. During the chromatographic experiment, a pump can deliver a constant mobile phase composition, means isocratic, means same composition of mobile phase throughout the process, or an increasing mobile phase composition, that is gradient phase. It either you can work as an isocratic mode or in gradient mode. Based on the nature of compound, we are going to select this. Either our compound can be separated by using isocratic mode or by using the gradient mode. Next, best for the analysis of complex sample. Then comes to the type of pumps. There are mainly three types of pump: constant flow reciprocating pump, syringe type pump, and pneumatic pump. Constant flow reciprocating pump. Here in the picture it has been shown clearly how this pump can be worked. The term reciprocating describe any continuously repeated backward and forward motion, means back and forth motion continuously. Widely used type of pump. Solvent is sucked during back stroke and get delivered to the column in fourth stroke. Syringe or displacement type pump consists of large syringe like chamber, like we are using syringe and needle, no? Here this pump is also like that of syringe and syringe. Here while we are triggering that piston, here the solvent can be comes into this chamber. Then after putting the pressure onto the handle needle of this, then the solvent can be moves out from the syringe. Suitable for small bore column, means this type of pump can be used for small column. Next is pneumatic pump. Gas is used to pressurize the mobile phase present in a collapsible solvent container, and the diagram is shown in the figure. Mixing unit. Mixing unit is essential in order to degassing the solvent, means mixing unit is used to mix solvent in different proportion and pass through the column. There are two type of mixing unit. They are the low pressure mixing chamber, which use helium for degassing solvent, means mainly we are using helium as a degasser, means whatever the water air bubbles present in the solvent, that we have to remove using this mixing unit. Because if any of the air bubbles present in the solvent can affect the shelf life of the column as well as the throughout the separation of the in the liquid chromatography. Next, high pressure mixing chamber does not require helium for degassing solvent. Mixing of solvent is done either with a static mixture, which is packed with beads, or a dynamic mixture, which use magnetic stirrer and operates under high pressure. Next, solvent degassing. Several gases are soluble in organic solvent. When solvents are pumped under high pressure, gas bubbles are formed, which will interfere with the separation process. As I have already explained these things, steady baseline and the shape of the peak. If there is gas bubbles, will interfere in the flow rate of the solvent. So we are going to get interfere with the separation process in HPLC. Hence, degassing is necessary. This can be done, degassing can be done by using following techniques. Number one, vacuum filtration, which can remove air bubbles, but it is not always reliable and complete. Helium purging, by passing helium through the solvent. This is very effective but expensive. Ultrasonication, by using ultrasonicator, which converts ultra high frequency to mechanical vibration. This causes the removal of air bubbles. Injector. The injector serves to introduce the liquid sample into the flow steer the mobile phase. Typical sample volumes are 20 to 50 microliters. Here in the HPLC, mostly we are going to give around 5 to 10 or 5 to 20 microliter of sample injector load. So we are going to take injector, iodine injector. Using that syringe, Hamilton syringe, we are going to give the injections into the injector by taking this into the inject mode. After injection, we are going to close that valve and taking out the needle of that Hamilton syringe. The injector must also be able to withstand the high pressure of the liquid system. An auto-sampler is the automatic version for when the user has many samples to analyze or when manual injector is not practical. Means nowadays auto sampler HPLC has come out. Means by itself it can take the sample and it will inject into the injector port. So no need to go for using this Hamilton syringe and all manually to give the sample. It is most accurate and easy and reliable for the purpose, and accuracy will also get by using such type of instrument. Types of injectors: septum injectors, stop flow injectors. Septum injectors, here is in the diagram syringe, septum. Here rubber septums is there, two rubber septum is there, in between that one we are going to incorporate our needle. So after putting the pressure for injection the sample through a rubber septum. This is not common since the septum has to withstand high pressure. Stop flow, in which the flow of mobile phase is stopped for a while and the sample is injected through a valve device. Rheodyne injector. It is the most popular injector and the most common type of injector that we are using in the manual HPLC system. This has a fixed volume loop like 20 microliter or 50 microliter or more. Injector has two modes, that is, one is load position when the sample is loaded into the loop and inject mode when the sample is injected. This is the column. Now moving to the column. Column is the heart of HPLC system. There are several types of column available for the use that are nothing but your C4 column, C8 column, C18 column, cyano column, amino column, chiral column, etc. Here I have not included in my slide, but mainly different types of columns are available. Here in the diagram you have seen one guard column and the analytical column has been shown. Guard column is used to protect the analytical column because if any impurities or any particles are present in the solvent or either in the mixture, due to some reasons or degradation of samples will occur suddenly, then this guard column will protect that analytical column. Whatever the material or impurities present in that sample can be collected by using this guard column. So it can filter that solvent and it can pass through the guard column, then only it will permit into the analytical column. How to connect guard column? Here is the injector and the guard column. Here in the diagram flow also it has been represented clearly. How separation takes place in column? Step 1, the sample is introduced to the stationary phase. Here stationary phase is nothing but our column, and the sample component A, component B, C and A stationary phase and the mobile phase is flow in this direction. Step 2, sample is separating into its individual components, means component A, B and C. At last, third step, the sample is separated into its individual components, as like we are going to collect sample component A separately, component B separately, component C separately, and this can be visualized in the recorder with the help of this our chromatogram in the form of chromatogram, having the separate retention time. Now moving to next instrumentation part, that is detector. There are mainly different types of detector used in HPLC column. Number 1 is HPLC UV detector, next is refractive index detector, fluorimetric detector, conductivity detector and amperometric detector. Mass detector also we are using, that is LCMS. Number 1, refractive index detector measures the change in refractive index of the eluent. Greater the refractive index difference between the sample and the mobile phase, larger the sensitivity. The sensitivity of the detector is much less than that of the specific solute property detector. Useful for detection of carbohydrates and alcohols which do not exhibit other properties that can be used for detection. Two types of refractive index detector are there, nothing but one is deflection detector, next is your refractive detector. Next is our photometric detector. Most extensively used detector. Photometric detector is nothing but PTM, photo PMT, photo multiplier tube. Normally operate in the UV region, that is 200 to 400 nanometer. They comprise essentially a light source dispersing device to select an appropriate wavelength for measurement, flow cell and a detector. Different types of photometric detectors: single wavelength detectors, multi-wavelength detector, variable wavelength detector and a diode array detectors. Here fixed wavelength in diagrammatic representation I have shown in the slide. Fixed wavelength detector means at 254 nanometer most intense lines of mercury length has been shown here in this type of detector. Next is variable wavelength detector, which offers best sensitivity for any absorptive component by selecting an appropriate wavelength. Individual sample components have high absorptivity at different wavelengths and thus operation at a single wavelength would reduce the system sensitivity. Next is PDA detector, photo diode array detector. This type of detector can be used in order to determine the peak purity of the sample. If you have to collect the peak purity of the any chromatogram, then we have to go for PDA detector. Provides instantaneous absorption spectrum of the solute in the eluent, allow best wavelength to be selected for actual analysis. Peak purity can be calculated. Here, as I have already speaks about that one, ratio of absorption at various wavelength. Here in diagrammatic representation of this diode array detector, photodiode array detector. Next is fluorescence detector. Most sensitivity tip detector, 10 to thousands times than UV detector. Sensitivity depends on the fluorescence property of the component. Means whatever the compound that we are going to separate, which can emit fluorescence or not. Based on the emission of the fluorescence by the component, sensitivity of that detector will depends. They are essential filter fluorimetry or spectropolarimetry based on the cost. And this one is the diagrammatic representation of this fluorescence detector. Next is electrolytic conductivity detector. The conductivity of the column effluent is continuously measured and the appearance of the analyte in the cell is indicated by a change in the conductivity. Most successfully used in ion exchange chromatography of anion and cations. Should be used only isochromatic mode since gradient mode will cause baseline shift. Means if we are using electroconductivity detector, then we are going to detect only in isochromatic mode. If we will select the gradient mode, will cause the baseline shift. Means there is error in the baseline. Moving to the last and the final, that is the application of HPLC. HPLC is commonly used as routine quality control test of drugs. Means in pharmaceutical industries, in order to check the assay or purity of the drug, identify any component, quantify any component, purify any component, that is purity assay test can be checked by using HPLC. Medicine for compliance with specification. Stability studies, nothing but force degradation studies. That is, your force degradation can be assessed by applying different types of degradation components, that is, and the thermodynamic study, metabolism studies, and pharmacokinetic studies. It includes ADME parameter: absorption, digestion, metabolism, and excretion pattern. Useful for providing compounds specific assay and in the separation and control of purity. Used for assay of medicine containing natural products such as antibiotics, hormones to reduce dependence on biological assay. Effective in separation of geometrical isomers and racemate. Using chiral column, we are going to separate isomers. Either our isomers is geometrical isomers, cis isomers, or trans isomers. Chiral chromatography, chiral compound enantiomers or the diastereomers, that we are easily going to separate using such types of techniques. Then, thank you.